Welcome back to another reaction to Wash It All Away episode 2. So far, it seems like a slice of life about dry cleaning. With an opening. "100% Japanese seaweed, stick type, ready to eat servings." Okay. I assume this would be those seaweed plates you use for rice, but it looks like it's little balls. So it's midday, I assume, because that is whenever she goes. Whenever she goes and gets groceries, additionally goes to buy some bread to eat. What we have: walnut bun for $3, the cranberry and custard bun croissant $3.20. Okay. Unpan, fig bun, cream bun. That 180. Okay. Raisin bread. The whole loaf? No. Cinnamon roll for $2.80. I mean, these prices, this would be like $3 earlier with inflation, or the weak yen, like 2.5, maybe 2 for some of these.
どれも美味しそうだな。
No savory though. A little bit disappointing. I like cinnamon croissant filled with some cheese and ham. Very nice as far as savory goes.
クランベリーとカスタードのパンと
And a salt pizza. Salt pizza? What is a salt pizza? And yeah, I do know there are a bunch of croissants who have sweet fillings. One of them, some kind of similar to this one. I mean, this is cranberry and custard. I know some are filled with jam. Very nice, very delicious. The ratio is always pretty hard to get right because I feel like they are always overfilled, which is insane to say. But it's very sweet, very clingy. Some, I also see some filled with, hazelnut spread like Nutella. Again, very delicious, but very sweet. It feels like you could eat 2 croissants with one filling. That is why I tend to stick to the savory ones.
塩ピザください。
What is a salt pizza?
ちょっと金目さん。
I am on my break?
今服渡したいんだけどいいかしら。
No.
お昼休み中にごめんね。いいですよ。油断しちゃった。
I mean, I can definitely see the combination of custard and maybe some jam to work. I'm just searching, what is salt pizza? refers primarily to a critical dough ingredient, salt in pizza. AI, you are freaking useless. Salt on pizza? Question mark. I made homemade pizza, I guess, instead of putting salt on it after it was baked. Insisted. Okay. I don't know. I don't know what she meant with that. Maybe there was a mistake in the translation. Orders will be ready on the 23rd.
はい、金目クリーニングです。
もしもし、石持ですけど。
Oh, I assume what the sign is for if you come in and you leave clothing now, then it's going to be done on the 23rd. So you know before you even go inside, you already know, okay, if I do this, it takes like 3 or 4 days. You know exactly when you can get it earliest.
石持さん、いつもどうも。
ねえ、この前うちのQが傘借りたでしょ。悪いわね。
いえいえ、こちらこそお店用のものをお貸ししてしまって。あの子にお礼言わせなきゃ。ちょっとQ、降りてきな。
呼ばなくて大丈夫ですから。
そうかい。仕上がり。
So maybe a bar? These look like a little sake bottles. There's some other bottles.
るのって明日だっけ？服取りに行くときに傘持ってくから。石持さんの品物少し早いんですが、もう仕上がってるんですよ。ですから今日お宅まで配達しましょうか。その時に傘をお返しいただければ。あら、いいの？悪いわね。いえいえ、ちょうど夕方から集配が重なってますので、その時にお伺いしますね。
Okay. Oh, I was like, what is going on? So these are tourists and they are asking. Okay. So is there a reason why she's having it in front of her? Maybe to not have all the clothes move around, maybe wrinkle? Seems very exhausting. Guest house in. Oh, it's a guest house.
こんばんは。金目クリーニングです。
So it's a guest house. I assumed it looked like a bar, but I mean, why not combine?
金目さん、わざわざありがとう。玄関先に置いといてね。傘もそこにあるから。はい。これがさっき言ったどぶろく。うまいよ。
おう、どうも。
お兄さんたちご飯おかわりする？味噌汁もあるよ。
おう、もらえるかな。わし味噌汁。
はいよ。あの子にお礼言わせなきゃ。キュー、降りてきな。結構です結構です。そろそろおいとましますので、お食事中すみませんでした。
It's always hard to tell what the red lines mean. Is it blushing? Is she Because she's sweating a lot, I feel like she should maybe drink some water, maybe a little bit salt.
金目さん、汗いっぱいかいちゃったでしょ。せっかくだから温泉入ってきなよ。いや、でも私ここに泊まってるお客さんじゃないですし。いいよいいよ。うち小さな宿だけど源泉かけ流しが自慢だからさ。私好きなものへの誘惑に弱いな。でももう今日は仕事上がりだし、ま、いっか。
金明さん、お風呂上がったら屋上行って涼むといいよ。
ありがとうございます。また油断しちゃった。
Do we get to drink some milk? Some cool milk?
Q ってあなたの名前？
俺九章って言うんで。
そうなんだ。花火大会の日は予約がいっぱいなんでしょうね。ここからだと目の前ですもん。
はい、だいぶ先まで満室だし、花火の日は。
4 times a year? 2026, okay. That feels somewhat insane. Do we have dates? 5th of December, 25th of September. Are those multiple dates? They are. I assumed it would only be 4. Now we have 2 in spring. Seemingly, I guess. 20th and 26th. I believe spring, April. Was that not Golden Week? Is that not Golden Week? April, Japan holiday. Shower day on April in Japan is highlighted by the start of Golden Week, one of the country's busiest travel season, beginning with shower day on the 29th. Okay. So not necessarily, but around there. Okay. In summer, we have like 4 or 5 dates, which is a lot. Makes sense. Fall, we only have 3, and in winter, we have 1. That is still 11 times we get firework in this town alone. Also, oh god, I don't know what I expected. I wanted to read. Help us.
来年2月まで。
Help us keep your trip to Atami safe and comfortable.
花火の日は来年2月まで全て予約してる常連さんも
I mean, Atami's at the top as well.
いますよ。
本当？2月までって10何回も？
はい。
Oh.
今日泊まられてる方々も常連さん？
ああ、あの人たちは工事関係の仕事で半月ほど連泊してるかな。
半月も？
うちは小さいし安い宿なんでいろんな人が泊まります。外国人バックパッカーとかも来ますよ。
I mean, never really thought about that. I was under the assumption if you have like a construction job, you are part of a company, they are like, okay, we have to send you out there for a construction job, that they would prepare some kind of housing. Maybe you even stay there for like a couple days and put up some temporary housing, like those containers. living in an inn, never really thought about that. If it's cheap enough, sure. The hotel where I am cost a bunch. I mean, that is like $70 a night. That does not seem feasible. But let's say if it's 20 for people for like a month. I mean, that would be like 3K. Let's let it be like $4,000 a month for 4 people to stay. That is not bad. Not bad at all. And you get to get comfortable with the owner. You heard one of them was like getting a little bit more miso soup, the other one more rice. Maybe they don't even need to charge extra for that. Could be okay.
ふーん、そうなんですね。
でもお風呂はなかなかいいっすよ。うち小さな宿だけど源泉かけ流しが自慢っすから。
It is not that big. I have to admit. Not that big. It was also interesting that it was indoors. Which normally if I would imagine a hot spring, I always imagine it outside.
お母さん、とても世話好きな方なんですね。
うざったいだけなんで身内に対しては。
でも、
I mean, all parents are more or less annoying. Because they want the best for you most of the time. And that can be a little bit annoying because you don't really have the viewpoint of your parents. You get that later on in life to see what they really meant, what they were trying to do.
羨ましいな。鬱陶しいぐらいの身内がいるの。
そうっすか。
私なんて家族がいたのかどうかも覚えていないから。
I am really interested what her situation is. I assume maybe she was inheriting the cleaning house or whatever. But it did not seem like it. So it's I have no idea how she came to come here, open her shop, or get the certificate, open her shop. And it seems like it's working fine. She's doing well enough. We don't really know how well, but well enough to survive. And she's doing it for 2 years. So I am just wondering. I feel like you need a little bit of money set aside to start an venture like this. But maybe not. Maybe it's a lot cheaper here. I also checked some dry cleaning prices, and they can range from $5 to $30 per piece, maybe up to 50, depending on material, what kind we need, or what we need to do, the cleaning process. So it can get quite expensive.
私、2年より前の記憶をきれいさっぱりクリーン
2 years,
記
huh?
憶をきれいさっぱりクリーニングしちゃったみたいで。
So you made a clean new start. I mean, if you are comfortable with that, it's not a bad decision. I feel like there are a lot of people that could use that conviction to just start anew. More or less stop all connections you had, go somewhere else, start a new life, get new friends, get new people. Because of different reasons. Maybe your old life sucked, you felt more or less caught in a web or imprisoned. There's a lot of situations. Family, one of the biggest one. Friend group could also be negative. So going out somewhere else, starting a new life is always an option. even if you go so far to go to a different country. Also an option. You do need to prepare a little bit more and probably need a little bit money set on the side. But in today's time, you can do that, which is very nice. Very nice.
でも別に私そのことは気にしてないので。
は
あんまりお邪魔しちゃうと悪いので、そろそろ帰りますね。
でもあれだけは忘れないでほしいっす。
学校のカバン。
今度学校のカバンきれいにしてもらってもいいですか？
金目にお任せください。
I still wonder how old she is. She feels like an older Oni-san type.
つか普通に記憶力いいし。
キュー、最後に掃除しといてね。
This is not the first time I see this. Why are you watering the walkway? Oshimizu is a traditional Japanese practice of sprinkling water on walkways, streets, and gardens to cool the air, suppress dust, and provide a welcoming atmosphere, particularly during hot summer. Dating back to the Edo period, this eco-friendly act used recycled water to lower temperatures through evaporation. The more you know. I saw this a couple times. This is always very interesting if you take this in context, not this particular point. But if you watch something from a different culture like Japanese or Korean or Chinese or even Russian, whatever, sometimes you see something happening and you just take it. You just ignore it. It happens. Doesn't really matter. And sometimes you are like, it's a little bit strange, like this. I have seen this multiple times in anime shows, and I was never really questioning why. I assumed it was just for no reason. I assumed maybe they were watering something, animation error, you never know. Now we know, which makes sense. It's to put some water on the ground for evaporation, trapping dust, making the air cooler, which all makes sense. If everyone does this, the whole area is going to be a lot cooler, especially with all the hot summers that are in Japan. It gets very hot. A similar thing in Japan, in Japanese anime, you have these you have these strings like Pocari Sweat, which is a very strange name, which is a somewhat salty, watery drink. And it's like, why would you drink that? Why would it be so popular? It makes sense if you see the summer in Japan gets very hot, you are going to sweat, you're going to lose your minerals because of sweating. So you need to replenish them. That is why a drink like Pocari Sweat is giving you everything you need to get through the day. Again, there are some customs that may not make much sense if you don't look at it in context. This I find very interesting. And it makes sense, especially because, as I just read, this is to produce a welcoming atmosphere for guests, because this is a shop. and you want people to come here to have a good time. That is why, as example, my bigger shops in my area, they all have like temperature control, like air conditioning, heating, to always have a very nice temperature for you to be welcome. If it's a hot summer day, you can always cool down there. Meanwhile, in normal apartments where I live in Europe, we don't really have air conditioning. So if it is going to get hot in summer, yeah, tough luck. It's going to be very hot.
今日は朝からお客さん少なめでゆったり落ち着いてるな。もうすぐ冬物整理の繁忙期はおしまいかな。そろそろチラシ作ってポスティングしなきゃ。
New batch of flyers. To be honest, I assumed the show would have some romantic element where we may get a male character or female, doesn't really matter, who maybe gets involved with our main character and then also joins this little cleaning shop, job, whatever. But it does not feel like this is where we are going.
ね、ナイロ。先におばあ様のお家に行ってもいいのですよ。
Oh.
ナイロも社会科見学で一緒に行きます。
So we are visiting. What is this little hat?
いらっし
Now, I was questioning how old our main character is. I didn't know she was a grandmother. Looks pretty young, all things considered, so Good job.
ゃいませ。
こんにちは。
こんにちは。
I mean, they are most likely trying to meet the owner of this building that we saw last episode. The one that looks a little bit grumpy.
綺麗な人。こんに
And that one is most likely the grandmother.
ちは。こんにちは。かわいい。当店のご利用は
The little porkfish.
初めてですか？
ええ、友達からここを紹介してもらったの。染み抜きがとってもお上手だって聞いたからお願いしようかしらって。
ありがとうございます。嬉しいです。当店では地域に根ざした真心サービスをモットーに、お洋服以外にも靴はもちろん革、布製の小物もきれいにいたします。また地域に限りはございますが、お電話1本でご自宅まで集配を行っており、特にご年配の方から好評を。
Going straight into her sales pitch.
それじゃあお品物を拝見しますね。
お願いします。
ああ、結構跳ねてしまってますね。
昨日の夕食でイカスミパス
Squid ink pasta sauce. That is in the form of a bun?
タのソースが飛んでしまいまして。
明らかに書かれたようなものが肉まん？ナイロが説明します。これはナイロが大好きな大聖堂です。
This looks Russian. I'm not sure though. But very colorful. Not necessarily Russian. Russian East. I'm now, because these forms and the color is also used in, what's it, Middle East? Somewhere there, but I would assume this is more Russian. I'm not sure though. Could be like Orthodox faith. It looks like we have crosses at the top, so I'm assuming it's Orthodox faith like.
娘は絵を描くのが好きで、イカスミソースが洋服に跳ねたのが面白かったみたいで、 今度は自分の指にソースをつけて落書きを。お恥ずかしい。
ごめんなさい。まあそれは可愛くない？
綺麗にしてもらえますか？
I do wonder, are there any is there anything you cannot clean? Because I feel like you just need the right tool for the job. Now, the question is probably not that can you clean anything, but can you clean anything and keep the clothes more or less healthy? Because you could technically just cut it out. It would be clean. You could burn it. Would also be somewhat clean. But removing stains and still keeping it or not getting it damaged, I feel like is the biggest difficulty.
金目にお任せください。
Do we get to find out how you remove those stains is the question.
ねえねえお母さ
I would really like to know the technique.
ん。ナイロ、お洋服のシミをどうやって取るのか知りたい。
あら、おばあ様の家はどうするの？
後で一人で向かいます。
それじゃお姉さんに見学していいかどうか聞いてごらんなさい。
お姉さん、お仕事を見学させてくれませんか？どうぞ。はいはいはい。今塗ってるものは何ですか？
Someone finally giving us some answers here.
これは
Right, let's go. Breakdown oil. Fabric spray stain remover for oil. Removes oil, grease, and ink.
油分を落とすためのシミ抜き剤
Industrial
で
use
す。
only. Oh, I was like, we find out what is going to be used. No, we're going a little bit in depth. Composition of each stain is different, but this is essentially how stains attach to fabric.
シミ抜きをするとき、基本的な順序というのがあって、最初に油分のシミを落としてから、さらに内部のシミを別の溶剤で順番に落としていくんです。
No. So we have the fabric as a plane. We have the dye, which is the stain. On top of this dye is protein based, okay? Over that, water and then oil. So you break down the oil, then you wash away the water based stain, then the protein based part, and then the rest of the color. Okay. That is why oil based stains don't really wash away if you just freeze them with water, I guess. You need to break it down. I don't know how effective, that you may be able to use dishwashing soap, because those are normally made to more or less break up the oil or make oil mixed with water. So if you do that and you have water around, then the oil could disperse and mix with the water. I don't know how effective it is,
していくんです。
but I believe that is one of the main ways you remove oil-based stains at home.
ふう。
Field Trip Cleaner. A lady named Kinmi-san manages a shop by herself. Remove oil from a stain first. Lots of detergent.
お 薬は一つだけではないんですね。そういっ
I do wonder when the Steam thingy is coming in.
た染み抜き
Maybe for the protein one. I feel like the protein one can be broken down with maybe heat.
お薬の知識はどこで覚えたんですか？染み抜きやお薬の知識はどこで覚えたんですか？そうですね。どこで覚えちゃったんですかね。不思議です。
Did she lose her memory? Did she wipe her memory? She just doesn't want to remember? She learned it. How she learned it is a mystery. Okay. So we have more or less removed the oil one, or yeah.
それは何ですか？これは蒸気を吹き出すもので、染み抜き剤を塗った部分に吹きつけて汚れを浮き上がらせるんです。と同時に下の台から浮いた汚れを吸い取ってしまうんです。本当だ、吸い取ってる。これでほら、もうかなりシミが落ちちゃいます。
This is not what I had imagined. Now, this is hot steam, okay, sure. And again, with even if you break down the oil is still there. It is just mixing with some of the water. If the water evaporates, the oil is coming back because it's not going anywhere. So you need to prepare a little bit more water, as far as I have seen, to bind the oil with the water, because that is what you used your detergent before. And then she sucks it out from behind, which I did not assume the stand would do. But it makes sense. This way you remove a lot of the stain out of the fabric. And it's now wherever it is getting sucked into.
すごい、魔法みたいです。昨日できたシミだからまだそれほど頑固じゃないみたいですね。
Now the question is, at this point, we used the oil removing detergent, we steamed it, we sucked it out. Are we repeating this process, or are we going to the next step? Are we going by, hey, we did step number 1, all the oil-based stuff is gone. Now we go to water-based, protein-based, and then ink.
これだったらあとは漂白剤につけておけば大丈夫
In bleach. Okay.
かな。ナイロもシミ抜きやり
Okay, that is... Okay. Now, he was saying that they took it in bleach for a while and should be good. Fair enough, fair enough. But this only works if it's not colored. What if it's colored? Well, how are we going then? Because then we can't use bleach. Is there maybe... There could be... I believe there is an alternative that is similar to bleach for colored items. Maybe not as strong.
大丈夫かな。ナイロもシミ抜きやりたいです。ダメ。簡単そうに見えるけど、とってもデリケートな作業だからお店の人しかやっちゃいけないの。スースーやってみたいんです。お願いします、キメお姉様。ナイロずっといい子でいますから、何でも言うこと聞きますから。
Never trust a child. Never.
それじゃあお客さんのお品物を使うわけにはい
Correct. You can't have her handle official clothing. You can just prepare some other clothing.
かないから、うちの古くなったタオルで。ナイロ
I was I was thinking about she could work on her own clothes that we are cleaning right now. But this would also be customer one. Additionally, she could just dirty her own clothes, so she has to clean it.
ちょっと待っててください。お待たせしました。お洋服にシミを作りました。
I drew a stain on my.
やっぱり可愛くないかも。
I mean, she's a very go-getter kind of girl. Of all the things, she made her own clothes dirty, sure. However, she did not make anyone else's clothes dirty, which is already good. It's like, I'm going to make my stuff dirty so I can clean it myself, which is, I assume, one of the better ways to do this. She could have made something else dirty, which would be the wrong way to do this. Now, naturally, she could have just waited. You do have a lot of dirty clothes you could have done. So, I mean, it's fine. It's fine. Now she can't wear this, I guess. I don't know. If you have a wet spot, couldn't you just iron it? Because it's water. If you warm it up, it could evaporate. But I feel like this could damage the fiber, maybe? I don't know.
できた。きれいきれい。
But now it has gotten clean, but this is not clean.
こっちの服は後で私がやっておこう。お帰り用のシャツまで貸してもらって今日は本当にありがとうございました。いいえ、そのシャツは次にお品物を取りに来てくれるときに返してくださいね。はい。今度来るときはぜひ助手としてお客様のお洋服を任せてくださいね。気持ちは嬉しいけど、ナイロちゃんにはまだちょっと早いかな。人のお洋服を大切に扱うお仕事をするためには、まずは自分自身のお洋服を大切に扱える子にならなきゃ。お洋服って長く大切にされると、持ち主の物語や思い出が詰まった宝物になると思うんです。私には昔の思い出が何一つないですから。
Why? Where's this mystery coming from?
だからこそ皆さんのお洋服が宝物であり続けるようにお手伝いをしているんです。私クリーニングのことまた知りたくなったら遊びに来てくださいね。はい。ナイロちゃんか。礼儀正しくて根がとってもいい子だと思うけど。さて、きれいにしますか。ここかな。いい匂い。
Oh. Bright Fish Company Direct Sales Gift and Souvenir Shop. Someone making some fish. I assume over charcoal grill?
すみません。
いらっしゃい。焼きたてのアジの干物250円でございます。
I mean, $2? I see no reason not to.
私、今朝お電話で集配のご依頼をいただいた金目クリーニングです。こちら片口さんのお宅でお間違いないでしょうか。
はい、片口でございます。ですが、電話集配
あれ？来てくれたんですね。ライオちゃん。おばあ様、この方が金目お姉さんですよ。
まあ、 この前はナイロがすみませんでした。
いいえ。じゃあこのお店は？ナイロのおばあ様のお土産店です。今日は学校がお休みなのでお店のお手伝いをしています。
I assume you are not going to school? I assumed you would be on vacation?
ナイロちゃん偉いね。
Unless she is living in the vicinity with her mom. And you could go to school from here? We have not seen too many other little children though.
ひょっとして今朝の電話って？はい、おばあ様のモノマネをしてナイロがかけました。おばあ様のお店にあるものをお願いしようと思ったので。なんか変だと思ったら。
Did you?
これをお願いしたいんです。
So this is an old poster?
素敵。これは死んだおじい様が漁師だった頃の大漁旗だそうで、
Banner.
昔はお店の入り口に飾ってあったそうです。もうだいぶ汚れてきてしまったので。
Looks like a multi-tool.
こっちに移しちゃったっておばあ様が言っていました。
So the question is, what is... I assumed it would be a poster, which I feel like she can't clean. But if this is like a banner, then maybe? Because if it's a poster, I don't know how you clean it without damaging the colors. Because she's not really a painter, she's cleaning. Meanwhile, if it's a banner and the color is more or less safe, then sure, I can see her being able to clean this.
何年か前におばあ様がクリーニング屋さんに頼んだことがあるそうですが、断られたそうです。でしょうね。
Ooh, it is not. I assumed banner like piece of plastic, but this looks like some kind of fabric. Especially here, this is very highly detailed. You see all the little spots, you even see the, is it called grain? I don't really know with fiber, but you see the fiber going from one direction to the other. So there could be potential of, you know, damaging the color. This is going to be a lot of work because this feels like she needs to do this manually. Get all the little specks out manually, all the stains, then give it a nice clean with some detergent that is not going to remove the color, wash it out, or make it less vibrant.
長年使用された一点物の大漁旗。無理して洗うと経年劣化した生地が破けてしまうかもしれない。これきれいにしてもらえますか？
I mean, naturally she can. That is why we are watching the show, right?
金目にお任せくださいと言いたいところですが、まずは一旦お預かりさせてください。持ち帰って詳しく確認した上でお引き受けできるか判断したいので、それでもよろしいですか？わかりました。おばあ様にそうお伝えします。あ、それとエプロンと三角巾、カーテンと膝掛け、それと座布団もお願いします。はい。
First off, that is a bunch of stuff. He doesn't really have enough space, I would say. Alone, this banner would be enough to put in. Additionally, you do know this costs money. Who's paying for this?
他にもあるか聞いてきますね。あ、おばあ かな。
No.
おばあ様、あれもクリーニングに出しますか？
うん、そうね。
営業中に
Northern curtain.
のれん外しちゃっても大丈夫ですか？
I assume the green curtain in the back?
いいんだよ。ナイロが喜んでくれるならね。はいよ、
Classic grandma.
お食べ。
いや、今は仕事中ですので。
I also find it this. Imagine. You have a body, he has like a whole. I don't know where you are from. But if you buy a bunch of beer where I am, or generally some glass, could be also be cola, you have like a big plastic box where they all are in. This one, it also some regulations around that, doesn't matter. But normally you would carry it with both hands, especially if you carry a couple of those on top of each other because they stack really well. And then someone is putting some food on a plate with some kind, they have chopsticks on top of that, and you are like, hey, that is really nice. How am I supposed to eat this? You know, I have both hands full. I can't eat this. And it's like, well, what are you doing here? Are you trying to torture me? Until I put this down, I can't eat the food that you put in front of me that looks very delicious.
油ののりが。はい、これもお願いします。はい、ちょっと待って。
Don't rush food.
ゆっくり食べてもらって大丈夫ですよ。ごちそうさまでした。とっても美味しかったです。仕事中なのにダメな私。それじゃあよろしくお願いします。
よろしくね。
はい、大量旗については明日中にご連絡しますので。それでは失礼します。お気をつけて。はーい。
Very nice that she has a very not rhythmic, but she has the day planned out. So even though she has a bunch of extra work now, she could do right now. She is still being like, hey, it's like 6 o'clock, it's time to close down, time to get my evening bath going. Very, very solid.
思わぬ大口注文が入っちゃったな。ここへはよく来られるのですか？
最近だとナイロがうちに泊まりに来る時だけかしらね。
そうなんですか。
おじいさんが生きていた頃はよく来ていたわね。でもね、あの人ったらお風呂嫌いだったから、一緒に来てもこうやってゆっくり入らせてもらえなかったのよ。
へえ、おじいさまってお風呂嫌いだったんですか？
ええ、冬だと外で待ってるのが寒いから早くしろってうるさかったわね。
ナイロはお風呂大好きです。
そうだね、ナイロは本当に好きだね。
お家のお風呂よりこっちの方が楽しいです。
そうかい、よかったね。
おやすみなさい。おやすみなさい。あれはおばあさんの宝物なんだな。
No more reason to clean it, I guess. Ending. Okay. So yeah, we got a little bit of information about cleaning. Not a lot. But I assume next episode with the banner, she's going to do this at least as well as she can. She's going to try and clean it. I assume we get some more information about the cleaning part, because it's always nice to get some new knowledge, at least for me. But it is really a question how much that can carry the show. So we will have to see. Next episode is episode 3. More or less a deciding one.